Welcome to the Warlords of Draenor Looking for Raid Wing Preview series by Line of Sight Gaming. Our YouTube channel, LOS Gaming Show, is dedicated to making quick tip videos. You can visit by clicking our logo. Today in our line of sight is the Bastion of Shadows. Deep within the Citadel we encounter three powerful leaders who are lured to darkness by Gul'dan. Shadow Lord Iskar labored to return his people to the skies. When his efforts failed to remove the curse, he turned to another for help. But was the cost too great?
Have one of the tanks click on the Eye of Anzu as the other engages the boss. Holding the Eye of Anzu allows you to handle many of the obstacles Iskar throws at you. While holding it, an extra action button will appear. The button will allow you to throw the eye to the player you have targeted. During
Iskar's ground phase, there are a few things you'll need to look out for. Fell Incineration is a green beam of light that will fixate on a player and leave a trail of fire on the ground. Kite the beam away from other players. Iskar will throw a Fell Chakram that will ricochet between three people, run away from other players. Phantasmal Winds will attempt to push random players off the platform. Run against the winds to ensure you aren't pushed off.
Iskar taking flight will initiate the air phase. This will happen 3 times and is the most crucial part of the encounter. Each subsequent air phase will bring with it an additional add. A corrupted priest of Tarok along with a bunch of illusionary outcasts will spawn at the beginning of the first air phase.
The priest will place bombs on players. These bombs can be dispelled by someone holding the eye, but it may be safe practice to move away before they explode. The second air phase introduces a Shadowfell Warden that will channel Fell Conduit, which can be interrupted by someone holding the eye. For the last air phase, a Fell Raven joins in. It will place a debuff on its current tank called Phantasmal Corruption. The Eye of Anzu will make the tank immune to this debuff.
Rinse and repeat the ground and air phases, and make Iskar regret taking up Gul'dan's offer.
In life, Sokr'thar founded the Sargerai, a faction of the Draenei loyal to the Burning Legion. He was discovered and destroyed, but he attempts to continue his servitude in death.
Sokr'thar will begin the fight by piloting the Soulbound Construct. During the Construct phase, we'll use 2 abilities that fixate random players called Volatile Orb and Fellblaze Charge. If you're targeted by either of these, move out of the group to avoid doing damage to others close to you.
Melee stand in front of the boss to split the debuffs of reverberating blows. Move out of the way before the next reverb if you get shattered defenses. Tanks will need to swap once they reach 3 stacks. Lastly, if you see a green swirl spawn beneath you, move out quickly or you'll be caught in a Fell prison.
Once you power down the construct, the soul of Sokr'thar will emerge, and the empty construct can now be controlled by a player. Use this to your advantage and hop into it and use all of its abilities against Sokr'thar and his forces.
Sokr'thar will call for reinforcements and attempt to regain control of the construct. He will target the construct with Exert Dominance, which should be interrupted. 3 portals will appear around the room. Adds corresponding to the portal's color will spawn at each location.
A Sargerai Dominator will emerge from the red portals that will need to be killed immediately. They will place a debuff on players called Gift of the Minari. If you get this debuff, make sure to move away as you will do damage to anyone standing in the circle around you.
The purple portals will spawn Sargeri's Shadow Callers that will need to be brought into the group and cleaved down. Lastly, through the white portals will come a group of haunting souls. Make sure they are killed before they make it to anyone they are fixated on. The fire patch created from the construct's charge ability will slow these ghosts down considerably. They can also be trapped with Fell Prison.
If Sokr'thar regains control of the construct before his soul is destroyed, repeat the first 2 phases and bring him down.
Tyrant Vilhari was lured into joining the Sargerai by the promise of power. She rose quickly through the ranks due to her ferocity. The Tyrant has a few abilities she will do throughout the fight. Edict of Condemnation is a large purple circle centered on a random raid member. The damage is split between all players standing within the circle. Each time the hammer falls, the circle will get smaller. Touch of Harm is a heal absorption debuff she will place on a random target. Make sure to heal that person up quickly to get rid of it.
During each phase, she will summon a unique ad and activate an aura which grows in strength the longer she remains in that phase.
Vilhari will start with Aura of Oppression. It will deal damage anytime you move. The first ad will launch orbs in the direction it's facing, so try to face it away from the raid. Taking any fire damage during this phase will cause fiery circles to spawn beneath you.
Annihilating Strike is a conal fire attack. As long as you are spread, it shouldn't hit too many players. Infernal Tempest will damage your entire raid and cause a series of circles to spawn at your feet. Be sure to move out of the circles before they erupt.
At 70%, Phase 2 starts and Vilhari will activate the Aura of Contempt. This will put an increasing restriction on the amount that players can be healed up.
Tanks will receive Tainted Shadows, which will deal splash damage to anyone within 5 yards. This attack will also be replicated on any player that has Fawn of Corruption. This debuff makes them immune to the splash damage aspect of Tainted Shadows.
Players with Font of Corruption should stack for AoE healing. Be sure to move away quickly when your debuff falls off. She will summon an Ancient Harbinger that will need to be interrupted. When she reaches 40%, immediately switch to the ad and kill it quickly. Her last aura will increase the damage you do as well as increase the damage you take.
Everyone stack on the tanks. Every time she drops a pull, move as a group. Keep the pulls close together so you don't run out of room.
At 30%, she will summon the final ad that reduces the damage she takes, kill it fast, then finish her off. Up until now, we have faced natives of Draenor loyal to the Burning Legion within the Citadel. They have been eradicated but were merely puppets. The Legion awaits. This has been Tatva
and Tovo, with a Looking for Raid Wing preview by Line of Sight Gaming. If you would like to see our normal and heroic strategy guides for the Bastion of Shadows bosses, click on any of these links.